How's it going, everyone? Today we're going to be looking at the way that I have learned how to do cable sleevings. Look over here. As you can tell, I've done all of my own, and I've done a couple more for a few customers, but unfortunately they're not here. So just a couple tools that you need to do it. Just a regular razor blade is always nice to have for cutting cable or cutting sleeving or anything. A pair of scissors for the same thing. A pair of wire cutters for a little bit more precise. Obviously you need a lighter. We'll go over this in a minute. These pliers are extremely handy because they got the 45-degree angle on them. Focus. These are your ATX pin extracting tools. It's not, there it goes. You can see that they're just a little bit, almost like a pair of tweezers, but smaller. Obviously you have your ATX connectors. You have your sleeving, which today we're using Paracord. A pair of wire crimps and strippers. As you can see right here, they have the parts for doing the crimping. If this stupid camera would focus. Well, you get the point. Well, for starters, you gotta take your sleeving, and obviously we're not doing a full set here, and it's just a piece of wire that I have laying around here. But with Paracord, you have to take the center pieces out. This is 7-string Paracord. This basically is just garbage. But you have your Paracord. Take your lighter, just ever so gently close it off to stop it from fraying anymore. And then there you have it. And normally we would go over, how to crimp the cable or crimp the wires and stuff on there, but like I said, I already have one that's pre-done, and it's not even relative to the length of it. But if you, here, let me move this real fast. See if I can get this the way that I need it to go. If I can get rid of that bright white spot on my table, it's a little bit better. All right. Well, if you can see, which I'm pretty sure you can't, anyways, if you're doing this, you know what the cable, the terminal ends look like. Oh, there we go. You can see that you have 2 sets of wings. There's your first wing, there's your second wing. And then another thing that I like to do is, if you look right there, that little piece that hangs up, this is where these bad boys come in. Because I will just ever so gently fold them down, because I have found out that it makes no difference whatsoever. But where the razor blade would come in at is, I'll take the razor blade and go in underneath the little wings and pull them back up a little bit so that you can see it. But if you're using a pre-done set of cables, or a already connected piece of cables, blah blah blah, you can see that that's in there. You would take your removal tool, and on either side of the connector, basically you're sticking it in there to push the wings down. And you push it in, and ta-da! That's how you do it for all of your runs. Just as a visual representation, this is an absolute terrible way of doing it, but it works. As you can see, here's a crude drawing of here's a crude drawing of how basically this connector looks on the inside. Right here it has the little flaps, and then there's your 16 gauge wire, and then there's the little wings that I'm talking about that I peel up with the razor blade right here. And as you push that in, it'll click in and rest up against those so it doesn't pull back out. So that's why you always got to be careful not to damage these wings, because otherwise the cable will just pull out with no resistance. But like I said, that's just a little crude drawing, because all the videos that I've ever watched, no one's actually explained this. But anyways, coming down, I could do it the easy way and put that end of the cable in, but I'm not going to be like that. But you push those little pins down that I was saying with the 45-degree pliers, and it makes it a lot easier for going in. Let me switch hands. Okay, and we're stuck. You can feel it, it's right there. So basically what you do is you pinch with your right hand and gently squeeze with your left, and you expand it, and then grab with your left hand, letting go with your right, and run it down the length. And then you just basically inch it forward. And once you do this enough times, you get really good at it, because I would hate to actually see the number of cables that I've ever sleeved before. It's probably up in the range of about 700 to 1,000, but it comes out, and you see where's my little pointer tool? Hey, look, screwdriver. Right in between here and here, the two sets of wings, this set of wings and that set of wings, that's where you want your paracord to sit. You don't want it to go too high, because then you'll block those wings and it won't be able to go into the connector. So I like to go just a little bit past it, pull some of the slack out, just a little bit past it, because whenever you use your lighter, where's my camera again? Because whenever you melt it down, it's going to roll back some. You see? And a lot of people on the internet, they'll show you how to use it with heat shrink or whatever. I don't like doing that, because it's just a wasted product to buy at that point. But you see, nothing on your fingers. Just make sure your hands are clean before you start doing this. I always, wash my hands right before I start doing this, so that I know that I'm not gonna discolor the paracord. But basically, grab your razor blade, and ever so gently. It's very hard to see this. But you can see I'm underneath that wing. Just barely pull it up, and same with the other side, and then just barely pull it up, and now you can actually see that those wings, there we go, you can actually see the wings that are poking out now. Paper's dirty. But yeah, you can actually see the wings that are poking out now. You can see which ones I'm talking about. Don't pull those out before you do the paracord, because you'll slice your fingers up. Trust me, I know. And you always got to make sure that whichever way I keep calling everything wings, is not very helpful. The crimp points for the connector that hooks onto the wire, make sure that those are facing up, and those always face towards the connector piece. And then as you slide it in, you will hear a very slight audible click right there, telling you that you're in. And you can look, it's really close to the end there, and I always like to give it just a little tug. You see, that one wasn't quite in all the way. And I always like to give it just a little tug, and bam, you have a sleeved cable now. It's really simple. A lot of the guys on YouTube that I've seen do this have been making it a little bit difficult, but basically that's all it is. I'm gonna continue on the rest of this later on once I get some more done, and we can show you how to tie them up. So subscribe to the channel if you guys want to see some more stuff like this, and like this video. Y'all have a good one.